Hi, I'm Sarah Stonecipher, and this is my channel where we talk all things brick and mortar retail. Today I'm gonna go a little bit personal, and we're gonna talk about something that is really real about small business. We're gonna talk about the time I almost had to close my shop. It was a crazy ride the last 14 years of small business. And let me tell you, there have been some highs and some lows. And so I just want to tell you about one of the lows that almost put me out of business and how I was able to not only come out of it, but come out of it where we're now making over $1 million a year. So when I opened my store in 2010, I was a buy-sell trade clothing store. The reason why I did this is because I was young, I didn't have a ton of capital to open my store, and it was way easier to start with used clothing than new clothing. I didn't have to meet any minimums. I didn't have to have any super big vendors. I just opened my doors and started taking clothes in from the public. The first 4 years of business, that's what I did. And let me tell you, it was super fun because the block that I was in at the time was just up and coming. I was surrounded by artists and record stores and just cool murals everywhere. It totally fit the vibe of what was going on. Unfortunately, it did not pay the bills. And from about year 2, I realized that I needed to start getting creative if I really wanted this thing to be sustainable. So I tried everything. At one point, I was cutting up clothes and doing alterations. I created my own clothing line at one point and manufacturing facility out of my back office. Don't recommend that. That was insane. I did events and private parties and, rebranded our entire district along my main street here with the city. I tried as much as humanly possible to make this dream work. But after 4 years, it was not sustainable. And my husband is the most amazing man in the whole world and supported me the entire time. But at some point, when a business is hemorrhaging money every month, you have to have that talk. And so we sat down and we said, all right, something's got to give. I either have to change or I need to close. We even talked to somebody about selling the business. And this man came into my store and tried to offer me $10,000. I was like, listen, this is my dream. I'm not giving it to you for $10,000. So I really racked my brain about what I could do. And then one day, a friend of mine said, listen, I really think that you need to start selling new clothes. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you weren't listening to me. I don't have any money. I am out of money. Where am I gonna get that kind of money to start selling new? So I went to my husband and I said, you're never gonna believe what my friend told me. And he said, well, you gotta try something. We have about a month left in savings. So as far as paying all the bills and keeping this thing going, so why don't we use that money as a Hail Mary and buy some new items and see how it goes. And if it bombs after a month, then we're gonna shut down the store. And I said, okay. And so what little savings I had left, I signed up for Fashion Go, which if you don't know what Fashion Go is, I'll link a video here. It's a place where you can easily get fast fashion. I didn't have to go to the market. You can buy it all on the internet, signed up for an account, and purchased 1 rack of new clothing. 1 rack. I remember going onto Fashion Go and it took everything I had when I realized that I had to buy things in 6-packs, and I spent $100 on a 6-pack of dresses, and I remember being so terrified. Like, I remember the moment as if it was yesterday. $100 for a 6-pack of dresses, which, for comparison, I just went to market 2 months ago, and in 2 days at market, I spent over $100,000. So shows you how far I've come. If you want to see my crazy time at market, you can link our video here. But $100 at that time felt like the world. And so I bought 1 single rack of clothing, and within a week, we had sold it all. I could tear up, you guys, because this was like do or die. You had to make this work in my mind if I wanted to keep this dream going. So I immediately took that money and I bought 2 racks of clothes and then 3 racks of clothes. And after that month timeline was up, I realized this was it. We figured out the hack. I was crazy after that. I immediately started liquidating all the vintage. I got my racks and started painting them white and clean because I wanted a fresh start. And then the final piece, I got on a ladder and I ripped the buy-sell trade off of my sign. And let me tell you, we have done nothing but go up in sales ever since. Now, how can you all take this crazy story and relate it to you? The idea is that you want to look at what's going on around you. You want to look at the consumers that are walking through your door. It can be so easy to say, this was my dream, and I'm not deviating from my dream. But if your inability to see what's around you and what your consumers actually want is going to run your business into the ground, is it worth it? I felt like it wasn't to me. And honestly, even I was scared. That's what the end of the story was. I was so scared because all I had ever known was secondhand clothes and vintage. And I was changing everything about my store, you guys. I joke that I have changed everything except for the name. I mean, it's been a wild ride, but it's worked. And guess what? I changed again in 2020. In 2020, I realized that consumers were changing again. And so I looked at what was going on and I decided after 6 years of branding my business as everything under $60, because I wanted to be the affordable boutique. I wanted to be different. That was our branding. It was everywhere. After 6 years of that, I decided that's not what the consumer is anymore that's surrounding me. I have $1 million condos being built 3 blocks from me. So I decided to take my entire branding of under $60, scrap it, and get some brands. I went to market, I signed brand contracts, things like Buddy Love and Velvet Heart, brands that people were, wanting in my community. And all of a sudden, my price point went from everything under 60 to now everything is under 125. I was so scared. Again, I thought there's no way I can sell a $125 dress inside my store after everyone has been used to me selling $54 dresses. But guess what? People did not even blink an eye. One of my fastest selling tops inside of my store is a regular button-up shirt from Velvet Heart, and it's $98. We're talking like a white button-up shirt. Mind-blowing. But because I followed the lead of my customers, I was able to see what they really wanted. Then, even after that worked, I, a few months later, decided to start carrying handmade items like earrings and bags. And guess what? That set me apart even more from my competition. It gave people a reason to come in that maybe didn't want the clothes. They are now coming in specifically for all of our awesome handmade items. And that was the linchpin that sent me into the 7-figure club, you guys. I went from having negative $10,000 in my bank account, literally having a second job, and having to just lose my mind, lose my sleep because I was about to go out of business, to now I have the disposable income to start this second company, my consulting company, which if you don't know, I have a consulting company helping people open their own small businesses. We'll link everything in the notes below. To also having a business that is thriving. I am not in my store every day. I have an amazing staff. I have an amazing manager. And y'all, in 2014, I would have never, ever, ever imagined it. I just had to think outside the box, think outside of my scared self, and realize that it's possible if you just look at the world around you and see what the needs are and go in that direction. All right, y'all. That was a lot. I feel like that was a lot, and I felt like I was sharing a lot of my heart with you guys today. But I feel like we can all learn from each other's highs and lows and mistakes and good and bad. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. I am an open book. Feel like I have done so much, and hence why I have an entire channel to talk about it. And so if you guys have any questions for me or about my business or all the crazy things I've done, please, don't hesitate to comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. Have you ever dreamed of opening your own clothing store? Would you love to be a larger part of your local community? Or maybe you already have an online shop but want to take the leap into a physical location. Well, join me as I pull back the curtain on all things brick and mortar. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on how to grow and thrive in your own retail storefront.